Hello there guys and welcome to Daily Updates. Now we all know South Africa is a beautiful country, beautiful people and the rainbow nation. Many other things that you can say about South Africa that are beautiful since 1994. But of recent times, many people can really refer to South Africa as a mafia state or a state that is going the route of becoming a mafia state. Now the big question is South Africa a mafia state? So to really look into that and answer it is to look at, firstly, the definition of a mafia state. It says, a mafia state is a state system where the government is tied with organized crime to the degree when government officials, the police and or military become a part of the criminal enterprise. So when we look at countries, West countries, when talking about crime, basically, mafia states. Firstly, there is El Salvador. Number 2, Honduras. Number 3, Venezuela. Number 4, Mexico. These are the countries when we speak about mafia states, we refer to that. Of course, one can say, no, South Africa is not like Venezuela. South Africa is not like Mexico. But the question is it going to that route of becoming like them? Now let's look at these different aspects. Firstly, look at this. There is a problem of hijacked buildings in South Africa. And these buildings are mostly hijacked by illegal, undocumented foreigners. So you ask yourself a question. How can an undocumented foreigner go from their country, come into another country, and then have the power to own buildings, not just one building, buildings where tenants pay rents directly to them. And then they make a killing, they become rich through that. How can they be able to do that when there is a country with a president with law enforcement? So that is simple. The undocumented foreigners work together with government officials. They work with some of the police. They work with many other people who have power in order for them to hijack these buildings, get these tenants to pay them millions of money. And then when they get that, they give the other cut to the people that are protecting them, and some of the money remains with them. There are many incidents. If you look at Johannesburg, for instance, Johannesburg, Hillbrow used to be a very beautiful town. Now, when you go inside Hillbrow, it's drugs. People are using drugs. People are selling drugs. People sleep all around on the streets like it is a very dirty town with no law enforcement. Of course, there are police officials walking around, there are police stations, but the crime is not controlled. The police are in the pockets of these drug dealers, drug sellers, because they get money. They protect these drug mafias. And then when they protect them, business goes as normal. You cannot go and report a drug problem from Hillbrow inside a police station that is inside Hillbrow. You'll be testing yourself because one thing leads to another. You are the one who's going to get arrested. So this has become a very huge problem. I mean, there is a show on DSTV. They call it Sizokuthola. Those people go around looking for these people who are selling drugs. The big guys who are selling drugs. And when you look at that, it's like 90% of them are foreigners, mostly Nigerians. They take them to police stations, but after a few days, they are out. And they are not arrested again. So this is a system where someone is controlling these things so that they can have a lot of money. So let's move from hijacked building and go to the construction mafias. There's been articles and stories about construction mafias from KZN. So basically these people, they have a share on each and every business around a certain district or certain district. They just choose that district and say that, well, you are starting your business in this place. So which means each and every month, you are going to send us 10,000. Whether you make profit or not, we get our own share. So by paying them, you get protection from them. I mean, who would need protection from criminals? So basically, they're just saying, this is our land. We own it. This is our turf. So you need to pay to stay here. You're already paying municipality bills, but you also have to pay these mafias. A lot of people have complained about the fact that they are leaving their businesses. You start a business, and when you're about to start selling something, start operating, they come to you before you finish. They say, don't forget, there is this fee that you're going to pay. We are not asking you. We are telling you that if you don't pay this, we are going to have a problem with you. And if you insist on not paying, you might lose your life. So you think these people just sat down and decided, well, this is a good business idea, let's do it. Someone is a leader in this ring saying that, listen, you have all the protection you need. Go around and do this and do that. We're going to make a killing. And it's continuing. I mean, they've been reporting it, but nothing is done about it. In a country where you know that law enforcement is very strict, the minute they report something like the construction mafia, the police must be on it. And then there's never going to be a problem like that. So from the construction mafia, you go to something that is of recent days is becoming a huge problem. The Facebook rape. I mean, the Facebook rapist, Thabo Bester. This guy escaped from prison and went outside. And reports are that this guy has been living large while in prison. He was given access to the outside world, go enjoy yourself for a weekend and then come back into prison because he had money. He is currently waiting for his trial. But here's the thing. This guy has a lot of money, but he was in prison. He was making money while in prison. Now, there have been reports of prison officials opening for the prisoners at night for them to go and commit crime. They go and commit various kind of crimes, and when they're done, they come back in the early mornings. They get locked up again, and then the prison officials are making money. So in its own, when they go and commit crime, no one can say that, well, this is the guy who committed, because when you look at the alibi, the guy was in prison. How is he going to be committing crime when he's in prison? So basically the prison officials, they have one up. You cannot say it's them. And then they increase this problem of crime. For instance, Kenny Kunene and Gayton McKenzie, they did a documentary with the other two guys when they were in prison, and they recorded what was going on in prison, because these prison officials became so greedy and they became so corrupt. They were recorded. They were selling young boys to prisoners. They were bringing guns into prison. They were doing all sorts of despicable things. So when you look at it, one can just say that it's all about people controlling whether you can breathe, whether you can eat, whether you can sleep. That's what they do. And the government officials are involved. They are taking part into this. From the Facebook rapists, you can look at an instance like the mafia at Eskom. Eskom is a very big thing to lose, but we are slowly losing it, because there are mafias inside Eskom who are saying, you know what, there's a lot of money from Eskom. Forget what the people of South Africa are crying about. What we can do here is that we can get a lot of money from Eskom, become rich, and there will never be consequences. Andre de Recha opened a can of worms and said there are mafias at Eskom. They are charging a lot of money. They are creating all these problems. No one is arrested as of now. They deployed soldiers to stay at the gates of these power stations, but nothing has been done. We've never heard of someone huge coming and saying that we got this guy, we arrested this guy. They are stealing millions of diesel. Not just millions in terms of money, millions in terms of liters of diesel. Making money. There were reports that instead of delivering these trucks, instead of delivering coal, they deliver stones painted as black. And then they come and bring them to Eskom and say, these are stones. They get transported into those power stations, heated up. You are heating a stones instead of the coal. At the end of the day, production is not as it should be. And there are a lot of breakups. So you look at it, you look at it, government officials, they are doing this together with these mafias. Actually, they are the ones who are mafias. Because the problem starts from government. And then a government official can just get someone and just say, you know what, I protect you. You do the bad things that I need you to do. And they go and do dirty things because they have a lot of protection. That's what a lot of criminals are doing because they know that we have a lot of protection. For instance, the issue of cash in transit, it's never going to get solved in South Africa. They rob these vans broad daylight. If they were saying that these vans are moving at night, they're getting robbed, we would have understood that many people are sleeping. But broad daylight, it doesn't matter where that place is. They do this thing, they rob, they bomb these trucks, they get the money, they leave. Each and every day, around 2 or 3 vans are bombed in South Africa. For many years, each and every day they are getting bombed. And you wonder, so much money every day. As much as the money is in short, but so much money every day. How many kingpins do we have that are doing this cash in transit? The ones that are behind this. Don't tell me about the criminals that are bombing these things. Those are just small boys. There are big guys there who are just sitting there and expecting a lot of money. And if a country like South Africa, with such a history, is intending to stop all these things, they can easily deploy many other people who can take care of this problem. Because the thing is that we don't have intelligence in South Africa. So if South Africa as a whole had beautiful intelligence that can be able to combat crime, we would not have things like cash in transit, because the intelligence would sit down and formulate a plan into stopping this thing. But they are not interested in stopping it because they are making money from it. Why would you start an intelligence team that is so competent when you know that you are going to lose? That is bad business. Like Zama. Remember the Krugersdorp incident where about 8 or 9 women were raped while shooting a music video. Few people got arrested, but today the case has not even been finalized. So here's the problem. Lesotho nationals, they come from Lesotho. Most of them undocumented. They come into South Africa and then they go into those mines. Mines that are closed, mines that are not working. Some mines that are still operating, mind you. There are mines that are still active where these Zama guys go at certain shifts, go inside, steal whatever minerals that they can steal, go out, because there is someone who's protecting them. And if you look at the guns that these guys have, you'd be shocked. Because these guys have guns that are not even found in South Africa, because some of these guns are coming from outside. But if you thought that these guys organized such a crime alone and decided that, yeah, you know what, this is what we are going to do from now on, you got it all wrong. These guys are just the last man. There is a top guy who's making sure that these guys are coming together and they pay this guy for protection. Again, it goes back to the police, it goes back to the soldiers, it goes back to the government officials, mainly the politicians. Because most politicians, it doesn't matter top or bottom, most of the politicians care about making money. Do they care about the lives of the people? Hey, if 10 people die, we don't have to worry about that. It is not a lot of people. So they no longer care about who dies as long as they get what they want. And lastly, maybe not least, you look at things like ANC and EastEnders, the killing of officials, the Inkabis, you look at the Guptas. These are the stories that contributes to a country where we see lawlessness. Look, if you want someone to be eliminated, you don't have to worry. As long as you have up to 100,000, you get an Inkabi. These people, their life, their jobs is to kill. They don't care. They kill you. They find a Sangoma who will do a cleansing ceremony, and then they go back to the community. People know about these Inkabis, but nothing is done about them. Because these Inkabis, they are in the books of mainly politicians, and many other people have been killed. For example, lately, this year, February, aka a superstar, a hip-hop star, got killed. There were cameras all around. To this day, no one is arrested. Senzo Meiwa. Senzo got killed. A soccer player for South African national team. He got killed. To this day, the trial keeps on being postponed. And if you think that these are just normal crimes that are happening in South Africa, you got it all wrong. It's not about that. The fact is that the top guys are making a mockery. They're turning South Africa into a free place where you can do everything you like and there will never be consequences. But then we go to the point of saying, is South Africa a mafia state? I think according to me, the answer would be not yet. South Africa is on the brink of becoming a mafia state if nothing is done about it. But if there can be an intervention into these problems that we are having, then South Africa will be stopped from becoming a mafia state. But if there's no one who's making any change, which I think that would be the South African people voting out the current government and getting a new party to lead us. Because if you have this problem that keeps on going and you want to put all your trust into a party that has caused all of this, then you know that the problem is not that party. It is us, the people of South Africa. We cannot want to become like Mexico, where criminals will just kill you like that. We cannot want to become like Venezuela, where even politicians know that if a criminal wants to kill you, they can kill you so easy. And we cannot become like Honduras. I mean, what we need to do is to become a country that respects its rules, its laws. They need to go there and reclaim those hijacked buildings. They need to stop these construction mafias. Talk about Facebook rapists and all these prisoners being let out of jail. People need to care about their job and not about the money. Extra money, which is dirty, doesn't make you a better person. The mafias at Eskom, the sooner they solve Eskom, the better. But can they do that? Highly impossible. But then again, what we need to do as South Africa is to know that if we really enter the stage of becoming a mafia state, then people are going to leave this country, the economy is going to crash, and the life of South African is never going to be good. But it's up to us as South Africans. Do we want to become a mafia state, which we are not yet, or do we really need to make a change, which I think it's coming next year? If there was ever a time for South Africans to really come together and say, let's put a new government into place and see what happens. That thing was saying, rather the devil you know, better the devil you know. We should stop saying it. Because that devil keeps putting us inside a hole. Like Donald Trump referred to us as a what hole. But again, guys, thank you for the conversation. I hope we can have an interaction into comments into this problem of the mafia state. I would like to believe that my view is wrong in terms of South Africa on the brink of becoming a mafia state. Maybe you guys see it differently. But anyway, guys, please let's engage, like the video and do everything. Let's chat. Until next time. Cheers.